Good day. For this topic is the chapter 14, which is the insurance law. There are products that satisfy the protection and investment needs of the market. Estelito Madrid Jr., CEO of ProLife UK Philippines. Topic outline of the chapter 14. Insurance policy in scrutiny. To insure or not to insure. Research project. Definition and concept. The law. Discussion of the law. Insurable interest. Law. Discussion of the law. Insurable interest in group insurance. Application of the law. Insurable interest in property beneficiaries. The law. Discussion of the law. Application of the law. Fire, marine, and third-party liability insurance. Marine insurance. Discussion of the law. Application of the law. Fire insurance. The law. Discussion of the law. And application of the law. And also the compulsory motor vehicle liability insurance. The law. Discussion of the law. Application of the law. War risk insurance. The law. Discussion of the law. Application of the law. So that consists the topic outline of the chapter 14. Learning objectives. 1. Enumerate items that can be insured by a tourism establishment. 2. Identify the rationale behind the concept of insurance. 3. Explain the different kinds of insurance. 4. Identify the advantages and disadvantages of having insurance. Insurance is a very useful for companies engaged in the tourism industry because there are many kinds of risks in enterprises where investment often is quite substantial. By way of example, an employer may subscribe to a group insurance of its employees as part of its employee benefit program. Companies utilizing building structures for the operation of their hotels, restaurants, and other tourism-related establishments may think of investing in property insurance against fire or earthquake to protect their investments. And lastly, in investment in marine insurance, the useful practice among companies engaged in the transportation of cargoes at sea may also be worth of looking to the insurance code now referred to as PD 1460. In case of the latter's deficiency, the provisions of insurance contracts are governed by the insurance law PD 612, which instituted the Civil Code of the Philippines govern. Definition and concept. The law. Section 2. A contract of insurance is an agreement whereby one undertakes for a consideration to indemnify another against loss, damage, or liability arising from an unknown or contingent event. Discussion of the law. The essential elements of an insurance contract are insurable interest, existence of risk, assumption of such risk by the insurer, said assumption being part of general scheme to distribute actual losses among those bearing similar risk. The characteristics of insurance contract are aleatory. There is an element of risk, and also the contract of indemnity. There is an exchange of value for value. And onerous, there is a valuable consideration given or payment of premium. And also the bilateral, both parties are bound to do something. And formal, as to form, a policy is required to be issued and the premium must be paid. The parties in insurance contract are insurer, a person, partnership, association, or corporation duly authorized to transact an insurance business. Also, be insured, a person with an insurable interest who stands to benefit from a policy of insurance. In its strict sense, the insured party is the owner or the purchaser of the policy, even though benefit of the insurance may accrue to someone else. And also C is the beneficiary, a person designated by the terms of policy is to receive the proceeds of the insurance policy upon to happening to the event insured against. It is the person named in the insurance policy as the one to receive proceeds or benefits accruing thereunder. Also, insurance contracts may refer to the following: life insurance. an insurance on human lives and insurance appertaining thereto or connected to therewith. B is the fire insurance, which includes loss of fire, lightning, windstorm, tornado, or earthquake on other allied risks. And C is marine insurance, a contract whereby one for their consideration agrees to indemnify another for the loss or damage on a certain interest subject to marine risk by certain perils of the sea or specified casualties during a voyage or fixed period. And also the personal accident insurance, an insurance which provides pecuniary compensation for expenses or losses of income brought by death or bodily injury arising from the violent, external, visible, and accidental means. Insurable interest. Section 10. Every person has an insurable interest in the life and health. B. Of any person or whom he depends wholly or in part for education or support, or in whom he has pecuniary interest. C. Of any person under a legal obligation to him for the payment of money or respecting property or services of which death or illness might delay or prevent the performance. Also under the Section 13, every interest in property, whether real or personal, or any relation thereto, or liability in respect thereof, of such nature that a contemplated peril might directly damnify the insured or is an insurable interest. And also the Section 14, an insurable interest in property may consist in A, for example, is the existing interest, and also the inchoate interest founded in a existing interest, and C is an expectancy coupled with an existing interest that out of which expectancy arises. Insurable interest in group insurance. Any person so related to another either by a contract or commercial relation may lawfully procure insurance on the other's life. Thus, an employer may insure the life of the employee and vice versa. And also insurable interest in property. In a property insurance, it is important that insurable interest must exist when the insurance takes effect and when the loss occurs. In marine insurance, the owner of a ship has in all cases an insurable interest in it, even it has been chartered by one who covenants to pay him its value in case of loss. Also the beneficiaries. The law, Section 18, no contract or policy of insurance on property shall be enforceable except for the benefit of some person having insurable interest in the property insured. Also in the Section 19, an interest in property insured must exist when the insurance takes effect and when the loss occurs but not need to exist in the meantime. Fire, marine, and third-party liability insurance. Marine insurance under the Section 99 or 99. Marine insurance includes insurance against loss of or damage to A. Vessels, aircraft, vehicles, goods, freight, cargoes, merchandise, effects, disturbances, profits, monies are some of an example of insurance loss. And also B. Person or property. C. Precious stones, jewels, jewelry, precious metals. D. Bridges, tunnels, and other instrumentalities. And also 2. Marine protection and indemnity insurance, meaning the insurance against legal liability of the insured or for loss, damage, or expense incident to ownership, operation, chartering, maintenance, use, repair, or construction of any vessel, craft, or instrumentality. Fire insurance. The law, Section 167, as used in this code, the term fire insurance shall include insurance against loss by fire, lightning, windstorm, tornado, or earthquake, or other allied risks, which such risks are covered by extension of fire insurance policies or under the separated policies. Also, compulsory motor vehicle liability insurance. The law, Section 373, for purposes of this chapter, A. Motor Vehicle of Republic Act No. 4136, otherwise known as the Land Transportation and Traffic Code. B. Passenger is in any fare-paying person being transported and conveyed in and by a motor vehicle for transportation. Third party. D. Land transportation operator. E. Insurance policy. War risk insurance. The war risk insurance is an insurance covering damage caused by acts of war. It includes coverage for war, hijacking, and related perils. Insurers have intended to withdraw liability covered for weapons or mass destruction. A subset of war risk insurance, WMD, includes radioactive contamination, dirty bombs, electromagnetic pulse devices, chemical biological weapons. Covered was subsequently provided at full policy limits for passenger liability but limited to a maximum of US 50 million US dollars for all third party injury and damage, property damage. IATA policy in most jurisdictions, including the European Union, airlines are required by law to have liability insurance, including coverage for the WMDS, and 37 aircraft lease agreements also require coverage for war risk insurance. Motivation. Insurance law is essential because it serves as the foundation for protecting individuals and businesses against unexpected losses. Offering a structured way to manage risk and ensure recovery in times of crisis, studying it empowers you to interpret complex scenarios, advocate for fairness, and become a vital link between the legal principles and real-life problem solving. It opens doors to a diverse careers in law, compliance, risk management, and insurance, all while giving you the tools to protect both everyday people and large organizations. At its core, insurance law is about bringing stability to uncertainty, making it a powerful and meaningful field to understand. That's all for the chapter 14. Thank you.